that are here early. We have several more people. There we go. Hello, everyone. I'm Mindy, and we're going to give everybody a couple more minutes to come in. We have a few more participants joining us today. But I do want to thank you all for being here, and thank you for taking the time to really look into what matters to you in your life. So a dream board is more than cutting and pasting, and I'll get into that a little bit more here in a few minutes. Like I said, oh, actually it's right on the nose. So let's go ahead and get started. Everybody can join or catch up later. But a vision board is a little more than cutting and pasting. It's really digging into the reasons that maybe we've been held back in the past on certain things, or you know, maybe building our dreams bigger than what we've allowed ourselves to build those dreams. And so give me just one, oh, there we go. So yeah, again, I want to thank you all for being here. My name is Mindy Lishman. I am a certified life coach, a dream builder coach, and a life mastery consultant with the Brave Thinking Institute. And the Brave Thinking Institute is actually one of the premier institutes for coaches on transformational coaching. So that's one of the modalities that I've learned in my experience over the years. And just to give you a brief history of who I am a mother of three, didn't plan any one of them. Two of them came at the same time, they're twins, but I've pretty much lived my entire life by default, like it was just happening to me. And at the age of, I don't know, 56, I think I finally realized that I can actually create my life rather than to continue to live this life by default. Because, you know, if you're living by default, that's fine. Some great things happen. I mean, really amazing things have happened to me in my lifetime. But at the same time, you know, you're not on purpose. You're not necessarily living as big a life as what you could live if you lay it out. And that's why we do dream boards. We do dream boards to lay out our lives, to really discover what it is that we want. And again, like I said, this isn't like my first dream board that I did maybe 12 years ago, where, you know, there were a bunch of friends and a bunch of magazines cutting and pasting. We're actually going to send out a link with a Canva tutorial so that you can discover how to do a digital if you prefer digital. I am a digital person. I like having my vision board on my computer. I like having it as my screensaver on my phone, on my iPad. And I also do enjoy having some pictures up on the walls as well of those things that I want. So, you know, you might go for one or you might go for all. I'm just going to put a little disclaimer. I am in Costa Rica right now. We are getting a bit of a storm. And so if my internet should glitch, because it is very glitchy and you don't see me for a couple of minutes, I'll be logging back in on my phone. So just wanted to give you a heads up. I'm not going to be completely gone if that should happen, but just give me a couple minutes to log back in. So does everybody have their workbook? Yeah? Okay. So let's go ahead and dive into the workbook, but also I want you to know this is very interactive. So I'm going to ask you if you want to share as we go along. I really want you to look deep. I want you to really dream big throughout this entire process, because what I've noticed as well, and I've done it my whole life as well, I've dreamed very small. And the universe isn't small. The universe is wide open, expansive, and always forever expansion. And that's what it's all about. And we weren't born to play small. We were born to expand. We were born to have everything that we want. Yeah, my friend Danielle just texted. Oh, I see. Yeah, okay. I see some people texting here. So, so yeah, with that, let's go ahead and, oh, I started telling you who I am, and sorry, I'm a little all over the place. Rain threw me off. But like I said, I'm a dream builder coach, life mastery consultant, and a certified life coach. And when I had looked back over my life, I realized, like I said, how well, and I actually knew it. Like I said, I had these kids with no prior thought process involved. And, you know, pretty much everything that happened to me was that way. But what happened was after 25 years in real estate, I found myself very burnout. I was at the end of my rope. The market was up and down. I live in Florida as well. I have a house there. And, the market had just changed. People weren't the same as they used to be, with Zillow and all the things that had come out. It was just, oftentimes a different atmosphere that I wasn't as happy with as, say, when I used to put people in my car and drive them around, right? But when I started this type of work in the transformational coaching, I saw not coaching, but transformational, I was being coached in transformational coaching. And I saw my life start to change exponentially. I really started to understand what drives us and why we do the things we do, why we procrastinate, why we maybe get angry too fast, why we maybe hold a grudge and that type of thing, why we think the way that we think. And I became a real student of the mind. So I don't consider myself a nerd, but maybe I am a little nerdy in that way, in that when I heard this stuff on The Secret years ago, it's like, oh, that's woo-woo, that's not me. And along the way, everything just seemed like, no, that just doesn't make sense. My logical mind needed to make sense of it. So I read a book called Psycho-Cybernetics. It's written by a brain scientist. And I forget his name, whatever. Anyhow, we can send that out. But it was written by a brain scientist, I think back in the 70s. And he really talks about that, reprogramming our neural pathways. And of course, now in today's world, there's so much information on how we can reprogram our neural pathways. And that's really what this is all about. It's a little bit of woo-woo. We are tapping into our intuition. We are tapping into infinite power, but we're also reprogramming those neural pathways to see opportunities, to see things that we could never see before. So that's basically my journey. And I started into self-development around 2012, but didn't really see the big changes in my life until I started in this type of transformational coaching. And I took my first program through Bob Proctor and my second program through Mary Morrissey. So let's go ahead, and what we're going to do is we're going to work through the workbook together. At one point, we're also going to do a deep breathing exercise, and I'm going to step you into a time machine. A few of you on the call have been in the time machine, but don't worry, new things are going to come up. And then we're going to do a little bit of journaling. And can everybody hear me okay? The brain is really loud. Yeah, okay, thank you. So let's go ahead and turn to page 5. And I know many of you have probably seen the Wheel of Life before. And if you didn't print out the workbook, if you have a notebook, you can just, rate yourself in each of the areas. You don't have to have the book printed out. But what I want you to do is look at these different areas, and let's just take a minute or two to go through these and rate yourself from 1 to 10. And so if you're a 1, you're closer to the center of the circle. And if you're a 10, you're at the top of the circle. So go ahead and rate yourself in money and finance. And I want you to think about, like, how happy are you with your current state of affairs, with your finances? Do you feel like you're set up for retirement? Unless you're too young to start really being all set up for retirement, of course. Overall, can you buy the things that you want to buy? Like, can you just go to the store and, I don't know, buy a new phone or buy a purse or buy, a car if you want one? Second area is career and growth. Are you in a career that excites you and lights you up? Like, do you jump out of bed in the morning and say, wow, I can't wait to start my day? Or are you basically surviving through your day? This one's really important. And is your career challenging you to grow as a person? I've had careers that I've enjoyed. And I think what happened with the real estate industry was I'd gotten to a point after probably 15 years where I wasn't growing anymore. I wasn't being challenged. And we're not here to just stay stagnant, right? We're always, always growing. And so I believe a lot of that unhappiness that I felt, or that being stuck feeling, just came from that not growing. So it's really important to have challenges. Now, the next area is health and fitness. And do you feel like your body is a healthy body? Do you feel like your mind is a healthy mind? Do you feel like you're emotionally stable? Like, kind of rate yourself all over the place on this one. You know, like, can you do the things you want to do? Or are you usually like angry? Are you waking up just not feeling your best? Are you sleeping in too late? You know, staying up too late, that kind of thing? How much energy do you have? And then the next one is supposed to say fun and recreation. Oh, there we go. Yeah, the next one's supposed to say fun and recreation. It says fan, there's a typo. But do you have joy in your life? Are you having fun? You know, are you experiencing things that you really enjoy on a daily basis, or at least several times a week? And are you experiencing fun in your everyday life? Now, your environment. And what I want you to think about with your environment is, you know, like your home life. Do you feel at peace when you're at home? Do you feel happy when you're at home? Think about your career. You know, where are you going to work? Are you in a great environment with positive minded people, or are you in a bit of a toxic environment with a lot of gossip going on? Then next is community. And community can be many different things. It could mean you're a part of a community. It could be that your friends, like if you have nights out, that type of thing, your church, your, you know, sports communities, whatever communities, school, there again, career. Then family and friends. And really, like, think about how you are relating to your family and friends. Like, do you relate with ease? You know, again, are you having fun? Are you laughing and enjoying it? Or are you just tolerating it? And what about your friends? This is a really important one, because one thing that I've noticed in this work is sometimes we stay with a group of friends because we're comfortable with them and we've known them forever, but sometimes we start to outgrow those friends, and it's okay. It doesn't mean that we don't still have a relationship with them. It's just we start to make new friends who are more positive minded, maybe, and going in the same direction. And maybe our friends will come along and maybe they won't. But, you know, where are you with your family and friends? Then your partner and your love. So, how are those relationships? Do you have one? Do you want one? You know, just on a scale of 1 to 10, where is that? Growth and learning. Are you doing something every day to challenge yourself? Like, do you have a plan for your personal growth? It's so important to keep your mind involved. In fact, it's probably one of the most important things next to food, obviously, to help with dementia and Alzheimer's and different things like that. They've actually proven that, you know, people who keep their minds active as they go into older ages tend not to get those, or not get them as severely. And then your spirituality. And this is one of the key components to the Dream Builder program that I coach, is the spirituality. It doesn't matter what that is for you, but it's being able to tap into another source, right? And so even if that source is just your inner being, that's absolutely fine. It doesn't have to be an outside thing, but everybody has their own spirituality when they come to this program. And then money and finance. Where are you with your money and finance? Can you do the things you love to do when you want to do them? Like, do you have freedom in your money and finance? Now, what we do in the coaching that I work with is we break this, and what we're going to do is we go down through the book, and I'll go through this later or through the workbook here, is we are going to break it down, all these areas, and kind of clump them into 4 areas. Health and well-being, and again, that's your emotional, spiritual, physical, it's a whole ball of wax, right? The second is career and passion, because some people maybe they're not working, maybe they don't want a career, but they have something they're extremely passionate about. So they want to get that out to the world. The third area is love and relationships. So that's your friends, your partner, your your coworkers, just again, that whole ball of wax. And then the last one is time and money freedom. Do you have the time and do you have the money to do the things that you want to do when you want to do them with ease? And for everybody, that's going to mean something different, but really time and money freedom is important in that, we shouldn't have to go to the store and worry about buying a gallon of milk or, the necessities of life. And there are a lot of people in this world who are doing that. So anybody have any questions on that? Just, you can raise your digital hand if you have questions. No? All right. So like I said, we're not cutting and pasting. We're really getting into the mindset. So we are going to go a little bit deep. Keep in mind, life isn't a TV show. Like, we only get one chance at this, right? We can't have a redo. We can't have a makeover. But what we can do is we can start creating from where we're at with what we have and create powerfully and create bravely. And that's really what we're going to go into. You're also going to hear me maybe refer to something called a paradigm. So that is actually just our subconscious mind. And so as I'm going along, if I say paradigm, subconscious mind, it's one and the same. But Bob Proctor used to explain it like this. He had a big circle with a little stick person. He had it, the top part, the head, divided in two. The top part was the thinking mind. The bottom part was the subconscious mind. Well, I believe it's 97% of our reactions and actions to the world come from our subconscious mind. How we respond to others, how we respond to situations, that comes from our subconscious mind. So if you're one of those people that gets angry easy, just know it's just programming. It's like you come to this earth and you're this little blank computer, right? You don't even have a chip in yet, right? And as you go along, programs start to get, put into that subconscious mind. And those come from our parents, our family, our friends, things that have happened to us. And then we create meaning around all of that. So we create a story so that I'm looking through my glasses very different than one of you would be looking through your glasses, because I don't have any of the life experiences that you have. And I find it really interesting. In fact, I have identical twins. So I've read that identical twins are the only species on Earth that have the same DNA. But they have totally different subconscious minds. Now, keep in mind, I was a single mom for almost the entire time as well. They were raised by the same person in the same house, and still they've had their own experiences. So think of the subconscious mind as something that it's very pliable. We don't know what's going on down there. It's kind of like, I always say it's like the muck at the bottom of the river. There's some really awesome stuff in there, and there's some really creepy stuff in there. So we just don't know. And that's what we get to discover as we go through this workbook, is what is running us on a daily basis, and how can we start to reprogram that computer with positive mindset and taking those blinders off so that we can see more opportunities, see everything that's around us, see more gratitude, more love, more abundance, more of everything, and then create that life that we love, because that's what we're here for. So on page 4, what we do, and the reason we're going to go through our accomplishments, is we want to acknowledge the great things that we do, because oftentimes we feel like we don't have value, or we feel like we don't know how to do something. But the truth is we do. The truth is we have all the knowledge that was ever out there. And living in the day and age that we do, that means we have thousands of years worth of knowledge at our disposal, right? We have some of the greatest minds that have ever walked the earth at our disposal, but we also have that connection to our inner being, to that infinite source. And that knowledge is unlimited. So let's just go ahead and take a minute to list a few of our accomplishments. And the first one is, what have I accomplished in my personal life? And so when you are listing this out, like, I raised some really amazing kids. My son is actually in prison, and I still consider him to be an absolutely amazing kid. He had some hard times. He had a drug addiction, but that's not who he is. My daughters are amazing. I've had some really amazing relationships. I've built some really awesome careers. So think about the different things that you've done. I've hiked some amazing trails. In fact, I hiked the Inca Trail in Peru. I'm very proud of myself for that. Maybe putting together a friends group. Kind of think outside of the box on this. Maybe you've, remodeled a house or built a house, or taken care of your parents. That says a lot about you. And then the second, what have I accomplished in my career or work life? Well, there again, I just mentioned, like, I've, had a couple of very successful careers. But, even if you're, just out of high school, you did that, you got through high school or college, or any other training that you might have had. And then other amazing accomplishments. Like I said, I hiked the Inca Trail in Peru. I thought that was amazing. Trying to think of what else. I'm drawing a big blank, but well, you know what? I moved to Costa Rica. That was a pretty big deal for me too. I remodeled a couple houses. Yeah, I got my diving certificate for, deep sea diving, that kind of thing. So would anyone like to share, when you're listing these things out, would anyone like to share, like, how that makes you feel, or maybe something amazing that you've accomplished? Either one would be fine. Just raise your digital hand if you're open to sharing. Oh, we have somebody in the waiting room. I can't see all of you, so I apologize. Okay. I don't think we have any shares right now. So we'll go ahead and move on to the next page. Oh, somebody did. Oh, Al has his hand raised. Okay.
Sure. Well, I teach Tai Chi and also origami.
That is awesome. And I want to learn both of those. Do you do that on
Zoom? I have, but yeah, I could do it on Zoom, but generally I do it in person though.
Oh, okay. Well, then you'd have to come visit in Costa Rica. So
yeah, origami is a little bit easier to teach on Zoom.
Okay. Well, that's very cool. Thank you so much for sharing.
Sure.
Anyone else want to share? Oh, okay. Nancy has somebody.
I will after.
Okay. Yeah, I would love that.
Great. Okay. Well, I'll go quick. I just got that I created a work from home position for 7 years from scratch, from nowhere, just from talking about it.
Wow. See how we don't acknowledge ourselves sometimes for things that we've accomplished. And so it's so important. And in the coaching that I do, we actually do this every time we coach together. We talk about what we're grateful for and something that we're proud of. So you can be very proud of that. Thank you, Danielle.
Thanks.
You're welcome. Nancy.
So it was so funny. I had just written down that I had gone to Machu Picchu when you said that you did that Inca Trail in Peru. And I already started with the scuba diving, so you and I are totally on the same page right now. But the one that I'm most excited about is that I created a brand. I left corporate world and I created a business that truly lights me up, that makes a difference for so many people.
See, that's so awesome, right? You're impacting lives. Like, that's a big deal. So thank you so much for sharing. So the difference is, so Nancy loves scuba diving. And even though I got my certificate, wasn't my thing, but I'm very proud that I did it. So I'd rather be on top of the water. All right, Gracie, you have something you'd like to share. Oh, you're on mute.
Back in 1998, back in the old century, I got my scuba diving certificate as well. And the funny thing is that I was scared to do snorkeling, but then so I got my scuba diving in Cancun, because when we were in a little boat and I saw the fishes and it looks so crystal clear. The water looks so inviting. I said, well, I'm gonna just jump in and do the scuba diving. So I took the 1 hour training in the pool with all the equipment. And then I said, well, yeah, this is doable. And then once we went in 30 feet deep, it was amazing. It was an amazing experience. So I got my certificate and there I did it. And it wasn't just that one time. I haven't done it again.
See, this is why this is so great, because as we share, for some reason my Siri came on or whatever it is. When we share, it helps other people remember the things, you know, that maybe they've done and they've forgotten about. So thank you everyone for sharing. So let's go ahead and move to page 5 and our reasons why. Now on this page, I want us to go really deep, right? It's not to get out of debt. There is no life or no excitement in getting out of debt. So what we want to do is we really want to think of, like I do an exercise called 7 levels deep. We really want to think of what's below that, what's below that, what's below that. So what is really getting out of debt? No, I'd really like to have the freedom to do the things that I would love to do, right? For me, it was always traveling. Like, you know, I just never had the time to travel. And from the time I was a little kid, I wanted to travel. And I created a little bit of that, but not like I wanted to, right? Maybe it's your health, you know, maybe it's like, I want to climb the mountain. And right now I don't have the energy to climb the mountain. And, you know, we're going to list 3 reasons why, but I really want you to go deeper than what it may originally seem. You know, maybe you want to do something amazing for your children. You know, maybe you want to take your children on amazing trips around the world. Maybe you just want to be able to provide something for them that right now they can't provide for themselves. Maybe it is you just want to show up bigger. You know, like I said, I spent a lot of years in the real estate business long after I should have left. I compare it to a bad relationship. You know how sometimes you're in a bad relationship, yet you stay because you're not a quitter. And so, so I think I saw Abby just cover her head. So I have a sister there, she knows. You know, so we stay in that relationship way too long. How often do we stay in a career that we don't love? It doesn't light us up because we know it. It's like that relationship, right? Or anything else. Yeah, go ahead, Gracie. Oh, you're on mute again.
Sorry for interrupting, but yes, I was in real estate for also 20 years. And when I first started, it was a joy. When I closed escrows, it was a joy. It was a great experience. But as I grew older and I was reaching the 20 some years or 20 plus years, and then also I was working in a toxic environment. So it all that made a big combination of a bad combination.
Yes, exactly. So, and it's not just a combination. Our soul is here to grow. Like
Right.
we are, so we talk about this all the time in the coaching. We are a spiritual being having a human experience.
Mhm.
Our soul didn't come here to stay stagnant. And like, I know at 15 years, that's when burnout hit me. But yet I stayed. Like I said, I was like in that bad relationship for another 10 years. Guys, that's a long time. That's a long time to be in something that you're not fond of. Go ahead, Abby. Oh, you're on mute. Okay.
That's fine. So I'm in the UK, and this last year, I mean, I split from my husband September last year, and for the last 12 months, near enough, I have been on a huge self-discovery journey. I have doubled my turnover in my business, and I just feel like I can take on the world right now. So the last year has just been absolutely amazing. I didn't think I would ever get over it. It did take me right up until the new year, but I threw myself into my job. And then after about 6 months of that, I then realized I'm on burnout. So I've now had to find that balance. So what my accomplishments have been, I think I've actually conquered quite a lot.
Celebrate.
I know, totally. And I'm just getting my vision board, sort of trying to get it sorted. And I found you on Eventbrite, and that's why I'm here. So thank you.
You're welcome. And I'm so glad you joined us. So thank you from the UK. We've got a couple in the UK on here.
I like to share something that, I was like you, Mindy, in a bad relationship with my real estate career. So that's when I realized, do I want to be here, or do I want to be happy and do something that gives me joy?
Yes. And how often do we do something just because it's what we know, or we have fear holding us back? So Nancy has her hand raised.
Actually, my friend Shan, I'd like to introduce you to.
Hi, Shan.
Shan. So I wanted to share with you guys that I was a stage manager for 25 years in New York City, and then here in Orlando, Florida, where Nancy and I currently are. And I got really, really sick, and I just kept going out on medical leave, kept going back to work. And it really took my young son at the time to really put things into perspective to me, to say, all my mom does is work. And I was leaving the poor kid alone all the time. My husband and I, working 3 jobs. And it was really a conversation I had to have with myself of, how do I let go of my passion that I've had since I was a little bitty kid and walk away from the entertainment industry to focus on my health, stay at home, really get to the source of what's going on, self-care, make this type of stuff that we're doing here today my full-time job, so I can be the best me and be around for like the rest of my life, because I want to see my kid is now a junior in college and now lives in New York City, weirdly enough, doing theater. And I want to be able to see them have kids, and I want to watch the life. So the hardest thing I've ever had to do is make that decision to quit my career and put me first, because as a stage manager, I don't know if any of you know what that means, but really it's the person that takes care of everybody else. So the go-between between the show directors and the designers and the actors and the technical stuff. So you are the mom of the entire production, or
Project manager of everything.
So literally you're on call 24/7, and you never get a day off, you never get time off. And I worked at Universal Studios for 15 years here in Orlando. And, my kid was raised on the back lot, because like that was the babysitter is, well, you can come and hang out in Harry Potter for the day. But I missed a lot of that time. So I wanted time with my kid. And I got that for middle school and high school, and now to be there for them for college. So that's what I've created. And I've created a sense of a safe place for my friends and family to come and be. And Nancy and I also realized, like, we house it for one of our closest friends out at the beach. and we've been able to be that really stable place to go out, and when they're gone on vacation or work for travel for work, that we can go out and have this incredible beach life, and we don't have to pay for it. So Nancy and I go out there, we watch dolphins, we sit and have a cocktail in the pool, and we work on our health. We do classes like this, and we've been able to create that, and it costs us absolutely nothing. But just being a good person, you know, and being there for that. So I wanted to share that with you guys. So that answers both of those questions. Thanks,
That fits in perfect, because your why was bigger than staying in a career that you loved, right? And I would challenge you that there are ways to maybe still be in some sort of entertainment, or incorporate that part, which maybe you've done, you know, that where you can have it all. You know, it's just certain times of our life, we have to put our focus in different areas.
So I am starting to come out of that, and with this lovely lady's help, I'm actually starting my own jewelry business. So I am starting to create new things, and she's helping me kind of set all that up to where I can work on my own, and it's still connecting with people. It's still doing what I love.
Yes.
And taking the skills that I have and repurposing them in a completely different way. So yeah, and not so stressful. Exactly. It's on my terms. Yep. I get to say.
Thank you for sharing. And so, see, that's such a great example there again of the whys. So if you all have your whys, your 3 whys written down, we'll go ahead and move on to some self-reflection. And the self-reflection, we really want to look at our life where we are right now. And we're raising our frequency. We're raising our vibration, our energetic vibration in the world, by being in gratitude. And there again, you know, we just did it by talking about our reasons why we want to do this, right? And our accomplishments. So write down 1 or 2 things that you love about your life right now. Actually, you can't write down too many, but just for time's sake, we're just going to write down a couple. And like, I love right now that I have the freedom to work from anywhere in the world. I love that. I love that I'm close to my children, even the one that's in prison. Yeah, I love that I'm never in a bad mood. Like, it doesn't happen. I love coaching. So yeah, just, you know, anything that you love about your life. I love Costa Rica. It's not 100 degrees here like it is in Florida right now. Love living in the mountains and having birds around, exotic birds. Now, things I like about my life but could improve. Now, this is where I want you to think about your own emotional state of being. Like, do you come in, like, do you wake up kind of, you know, another day, or are you waking up excited? Those relationships, the money situation, your living situation. Do you love your house or apartment? Do you love where you're at? Do you, you know, what's good, but it could just be better? And things I dislike about my life and I would like to change. So this is the one where you really want to look around you. Like, is there a lot of drama? You know, there's a lot of drama. I don't care what country you're in. If you get the news, you're getting drama. There's a lot of drama in the people that we allow into our lives. So sometimes they bring all their stories. Like, you know, we all know that person, something's always wrong, right? There's always something. You know, are you around complainers? Are you the complainer? You know, we really want to look at this. We really want to look at who are we when we walk into a room, right? I tell a story about energy. So, and our energy, our personal energy that we bring to our friends, to our family, to our loved ones, to our coworkers, is, imagine an empty room, and you walk into an empty room. The vibe is just an empty room, right? Maybe it's a beautiful empty room, but there's no other people in it, right? You walk in, but you're in a bad mood and you bring that bad mood energy in with you, right? But then your friend walks in and your friend is in a great mood and she's just blah, 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 blah. Everything is wonderful. Now, depending on who's got the stronger energy, that energy is contagious. Either my friend's going to catch my really bad mood and I'm going to bring her down, or I'm going to catch her good mood. And we can get our energy, it's almost like this bubble wrap that we put around us, to where nobody's bad mood affects us. It's like a rubber ball bouncing on a wall, right? This is going to bounce back. So think about that. Think about, do you have things in your life that you just not like? Maybe you're driving an old car that you just don't like, or maybe, you know, you're having to take a bus to work and you're not loving that. Or again, you know, like Abby said, you know, she got out of the relationship and now look how happy she is, right? Is there a relationship that just, you know, you've been hanging on a little too long, right? Or Gracie in the real estate.
I held on to my first one, my first marriage, far too long. My second marriage, I made quite a quick exit.
We learn from our mistakes, right?
Well, you'd think so. So hopefully third time lucky, but at the moment it's off the radar completely. I want to work on me and my life.
I love that. That's the best part, is when you realize when you become the best version of you, you're going to attract the best love partner, the best experiences, because you are the best of you, right? And there's always room for growth. I mean, Bob Proctor, you know, he died at 86 and he was still growing, you know, and he would tell us that, right? So we're always growing, but like, we want to attract those things, those experiences, those people that are on the same vibe that we're on. And then if everyone has everything written down, let's go ahead and move to page 7. We're still on self-reflection. What is the most important thing right now? So when you look back over the page that you just filled out, like Abby's focusing on herself, you know, Nancy, and I'm sorry, I forgot her name already, but yeah, so anyhow, they're I'm sorry, Chan, okay. They're focusing on their self-growth, right? So what's important to you right now? And then what's one area that if you reach your goal in that one area would impact the other areas of your life, and why would it have that effect on it? So I always, I do these dream builder calls. They're really amazing calls. And when I talk to the people on the dream builder calls, we create a very, very big life for them, right? A life that they maybe couldn't see or couldn't allow themselves to dream of. Well, the reason I'm saying this is a lot of times I find it's either career or time and money freedom that can make the biggest difference in people's lives, right? So because there again, when you become the best version of you on that road, you're going to attract that partner, you're going to attract the other experiences. But if it's your health and your health is taking you out of the game, then that's got to be number one. Because if you don't feel good, if you're waking up and you know you literally don't feel good when you wake up in the morning and you go through the day and you're running out of energy, then focusing on your health might be more important than time and money freedom or your career right now. But then again, if you have those other areas of your life pretty well together, maybe it's a relationship, the love and relationships. And you know, when my son first went to prison, he was angry. He was angry at himself. Like he had a lot of self-loathing, right? And so our calls were not fun, but by focusing on him for 3 years, with all this positive mindset work, he turned a corner, right? Maybe 2 years. And now he's in college getting his 4-year degree. So like, being the best, know where you are in your life. Thank you, everyone. Yeah, believe me, I'm so proud of him because, I talked to him, you can be the best person behind bars that you can be. It's not that you're behind, we all make mistakes. I don't think there's any one of us on this call that hasn't screwed up at some point in our life, right? Maybe numerous times, but you can still be the best person you can be in this very moment and every moment moving forward. And so, really look at what area for you would impact your life. And this is one of my favorite Buddha quotes is, and I'm not going to quote it exactly, like it's supposed to be, but, we make the mistake of thinking that we're never going to die. So we always think, oh, there's a tomorrow, right? There's a tomorrow. There's a tomorrow. What if there isn't a tomorrow? What one area would create every day as if tomorrow might not happen? And then what kind of legacy do you want to leave? What do you want to be remembered for? This isn't just about leaving money for our kids and that kind of thing, but again, who are you when you walk into a room? Your friends, what would they say about you? Your family, what would they say about you? Would they say, man, you know what? They always brought positivity to every situation. That was a person I knew I could count on. I always knew I had a friend. I always knew. And my son told me this. He said, I always knew you would be there, Mom. And my daughters know it too. It's just, who do you want to be for your friends, for your family? What gift do you want to leave them with? And money is, I can guarantee you, the least important. So now on page 8, how do you want to grow? So I love that we've had some examples of people who are focusing on themselves right now. So do you want to grow emotionally? When I had my son at 17, I grew up in Ohio, coal mining country. We weren't, taught to go to college or anything. It wasn't instilled in us. I am 57 years old. It wasn't necessarily like everybody went to college back then. I was very immature. So emotionally, I had a lot of growing up to do, right? Mindset. I took this right up until my 50s. I thought I was being a positive person, but so many times I was still being a victim to my circumstances, a victim to the things that were happening, or the people, or the way they were treating me, or my real estate career, or you name it. I was a victim to it, right? Even though I thought I wasn't being a victim anymore, I still was, and that took a little digging to figure some of that stuff out. Do you just want to be more happy? Or you just kind of going through every day and it's like, it's another day. I'm living Groundhog Day yet again, over and over and over, right? Do you want more business knowledge? What area do you want to grow? Do you want to grow in social media? Do you want to grow in learning computer stuff? Do you want to, learn how to start your own business? And then any other areas that you can think of course. And then the next question, what is my passion or passions? And so I have a lot of causes that I'm passionate about. But when I think about my passion, I got into a network marketing company. I'm still part of that company. And what I loved about network marketing was you could help other people make money, right? And also, it's a deep dive into self-development. That's one of the reasons why not only did I just get into self-development, I stayed in it, right? But like I said, I loved, and I really loved the idea, and no offense to the guys that are on here, but I really love the idea of helping women make money, because I was a teenage mom, pregnant at 17, I was working at a truck stop in the middle of nowhere, Ohio, in an outfit that I absolutely hated. I hated it. It was brown. It did nothing for my cute little 21-year-old body, right? Or 20-year-old or whatever I might have been. And so I know what it's like. You know what I mean? I know what it's like to work hard. I worked my way through college. I know what that's like. And I know that if you can help a woman change her life, and men too, if you can help them change their mindset, change their life, help them make money, guess what? They change generations. Generations. Think about that. We pass this on to our children and they pass it on to their children. So what are some passions that you have? And then what will give me happiness and peace? So if you're currently living in a situation that has a lot of stress, anxiety, that kind of thing, what would bring you happiness? Do you need a calmer mind? Do you need to do a little chai tea? Did I say it right? Qigong? Some yoga, like what area of your life do you need to find that? And there's so many beautiful modalities out there to find it in. Do you need more meditation? Do you need more health? Do you have a lot of negative thought processes? So oftentimes we get on what I call a thought loop, right? So it might be a loop of worry. And we're worried about money. We're worried about how we're going to pay the bills. We're worried about our kids. We're worried about, going to work the next day. We're worried about something, right? And then our mind just starts spinning in that area. And, now we're in a thought loop of worry. Maybe it's fear. Maybe you want to start a business. Maybe you want to come on and coach something like this, but you have a fear of speaking in front of a bunch of people, right? I was shy. I was shy up until I was about 52. I couldn't have done this. Like I could not have done this. And so like what areas where if you kind of work on that, you'll find peace. Do you need, more money? Would more money in your bank account do that for you? More friends? Oh, Sarah says she attended a mindfulness retreat. Oh, and it changed her life. And see, that's just it. Like she said, the thoughts, getting that calmness. And so, there again, we live in a world of to-do list, right? And we think because we're starting a business or we're doing this or we're doing that, we have to have this long to-do list. Well, I teach my clients how to get into a to-be list. I want to be this. And so in order to be that, I'm going to do this, this, and this today, right? There's ease and flow in that. There's no ease and flow in a to-do list. There's no joy in a to-do list. So what's going to bring you that calm that Sarah was just talking about? And let's go ahead and move on to page 9, self-reflection. Still self-reflection, but how would I like to contribute to my community or to the world? So, one of the things that I love about coaching is I'm getting to contribute to the world, right? But how else? I mean, some people like to, and I tithe as well. I mean, everybody wants to tithe at least 10%. When you tithe at least 10%, the 90% grows. So, look at causes. How would you like to contribute? Would you like to physically? Like I always wanted to do, but I had kids, so I couldn't, but, where the Peace Corps, I always wanted to be in the Peace Corps. Now that my kids are grown, I don't feel the need to be in the Peace Corps, but I can still go volunteer at some of these places. Stephanie said something, scratch out the to-do list. Yes, a gratitude list, right? A gratitude list for where we're going. And then what do I love to do for fun? So really think about not what you feel limited to because maybe your budget isn't allowing, but what you love to do. Like for me, travel, love, love, love traveling. Somebody might love movies. Somebody might like live theater, dancing. Some people like to go out to dinner with their friends, maybe sports. I love learning this material. Like, and how blessed am I to get to actually have this as my career, right? So I loved learning this material ever since I found it. I became a junkie. And so now I do this for a living, but maybe you're more of a science person and you love science stuff. I met a guy the other day. He loves looking at things under a microscope. He lives here in Costa Rica. Well, there's a lot of things to look at under microscopes here, right? And so what is it that you love to do? And then what are your health goals? Again, we kind of went into this earlier. I want you to think mind, body, spiritual, emotional. Are you dealing with chronic illness or something like that? Looks like most of you are ready to move on. So what emotions, page 10, what emotions do I want to feel and experience every day? This is really important. Do you want to feel that calmness? Do you want to feel that connection with loved ones? Do you want to feel loved? Do you want to feel joy? And think about, like, when you're saying that, it doesn't mean that we're running around like, doing the happy dance every day. But for me, joy is walking out on the porch and seeing the toucans in the tree with a cup of Costa Rican coffee. That brings me joy, right? And so I get to feel that literally every single day. And think about those 4 areas while you're writing this out as well. So what do you want to feel in your health and well-being? What do you want to feel in your career or your passion? Oh, Julie doesn't have the workbook. Yeah, we can make sure that you get that, Julie. I'm so sorry. I didn't realize you didn't have that. Your love and relationships and time and money freedom. Oh, Abby put it in a Google Drive for you. Thank you, Abby. And then what kind of person do I want to be? There again, do you want to be the one that brings that negative energy into a room, or the Debbie Downer attitude into the room? Oh, woe is me. I got all this going on again. Or do you want to be the person that brings in the light, like they know that you're the rock in the storm? Do you want to be that person that brings joy into the room? Do you want to be that person that, that people know they can count on? Do you want to be trustworthy and honest? Or do you want to be the person that makes people dance when you walk into the room? Instantly they smile. Maybe you're the one that lights up the room with a funny joke, And then page 11. So I'm going to teach you the Take 6 Calm the Circuits breathing exercise in just a minute. But this is something that the Take 6 Calm the Circuits exercise is something that I learned from John Assaraf. He was on The Secret as well. And he has a coaching program now, but what you do is you can do this like a few times a day. He does it on the hour. He has an alarm that goes off, and every hour he just stops and does this breathing exercise to calm himself. And remember, what would I love? What would I love in this moment? What would I love during this time? And so what emotions would you like to experience, and things would you like to attract into your life? And actually, let's go ahead and do the Take 6 right now. So what we're going to do is a deep breathing exercise. Wait, maybe before we do that, anybody have any questions up till now? I know we're going kind of fast, but just for time's sake. Because some of this stuff you can go back in and fill out later. No questions? All right, so what we're going to do is step into a time machine, and we're going to do it through doing this take 6, calm the circuits. And we'll step into a time machine because we're going to work up. Nancy did this, and some of the other people on the call have done this. So it's really an amazing exercise. We're going to step into the future 3 years from now. And 3 years from now, time, money, age, none of these are considerations. Anything that you could have created in your life in 3 years, you've created, even beyond what you think you can create. And so I want you to really start dreaming and to think big on this, right? I want you to really look at what would I love? Like, what would I love? Is that a business that's producing $1 million a year? Okay, put it down. You know, would I love to be traveling the world as a digital nomad? Write it down, you know? So, and I'm going to walk you through this. So what we'll do is a breathing exercise first. And then when we step out, I want you to just roll with it and write as I talk, right? We're going to write down what's coming to us. And there are literally, you can't be too old and you can't be too young. You can start from exactly where you are and create anything you want, right? So I would like for everyone to close your eyes, and we're going to breathe in through our nostrils and then breathe out through our mouth as if we're breathing through a straw. And so if you're comfortable staying on camera, that's great. I would love to see you, but if not, because I love watching your faces during this exercise. When we come out, you can either leave your eyes closed or you can open your eyes as I start to talk. But once you're writing, obviously, you're going to probably want to open your eyes. But so go ahead and close your eyes, and let's all take a deep breath in together to the count of 4. And I want you to breathe in calm. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out through your mouth as if you're breathing through a straw. And I want you to breathe out any anxiety or stress. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I want you to take another deep breath in, and this time I want you to breathe in just love and abundance. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now breathe out through your mouth, and I want you to breathe out anxiety and lack. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now take one last deep breath, and I want you to really just breathe in universal abundance, love, and light. 1, 2, 3, 4. And you're going to breathe out through your mouth and breathe out stress, anxiety, and any fear that you might have. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now, one last deep breath in, and I'm going to go through a series of emotions here, and you can go ahead and breathe out, and we'll start breathing normally. What emotions and experiences and things would you like to attract into your life over the next 3 years? And when you're thinking about this, like, who are you with? Where are you? Like, where are you in the world? Are you traveling? Are you on a yacht? Are you in Hawaii? Or where are you in the world? Are you doing a yoga retreat in Costa Rica with me? Where are you? Who are you with? What emotions are you having when you're looking around at the people that you're with right now? How do you feel? Did you just treat them to the most amazing experience? Are you having a family dinner, or are you on a vacation with them? How does it feel? Does it feel like, are you excited? Did you just launch your business like a year or two ago, and it like did quantum leaps, and you're now making several $100,000 or more a year. Did you write that book? Did you climb that mountain? How is your health? How is your energy level? How does your day-to-day life feel? Like, are you experiencing a flow and a joy? Did you buy a house or a condo? Are you on the water or on top of a mountain at a ski slope? Or are you like on a farm and you've got all this acreage and you're growing organic vegetables? How is your mind? Are you in a growth mindset? Like, are you happy? Are you surrounded by amazing people? Like, what does your day look like when you wake up and you pop out of bed? Are you having coffee on the patio, again, looking at the water, or with looking in your loved one's eyes? Or, are you surrounded by your kids, your grandkids? Did you finally take those trips? Like, did you go to Paris or on that African safari? Or, did you take that trip? What kind of books are you reading? Are you reading books that feed your mind? Are you around people who feed your mind? When you go to bed at night, do you just feel a peace and a calmness that maybe you had never experienced before? Do you sleep really, really well and you wake up feeling refreshed? What are you doing in your spare time? Are you taking walks in the forest or walks on the beach? Do you have a catamaran or a yacht? Are you teaching children who maybe, need teachers? Maybe you're in Africa, maybe you're in the United States, or, in the UK. Are you helping the underprivileged in some way? And what does that look like? What does that look like for you? Are you standing on a stage talking to others so that you have a whole army going out? Are you, in that village helping to bring water and education? How are you lighting up the world? What kind of food are you eating? Are you eating clean, healthy food? You've got tons of energy. And how about your financial situation? Like, do you feel like, man, I can go, like, if I want to go on a trip tomorrow, I'm going to Bali. I can do it. I can do it. And I can stay in a 5-star resort. Or if you're more like me, maybe you're just somebody who loves staying in Airbnbs because you get involved in the culture, like whatever that looks like for you. So what about your love life? Like, do you have a partner, or are you more of a lone wolf? It's okay. Either way is fine. But yeah, I'm a bit more of a lone wolf myself, Sally or Abby. I get it. Yeah, some of us like being alone. Like, my life is so full, and so you never know, whatever that is for you, and being okay with it. Don't let society tell you what you should do. What do you want your life to look like? It's the year 2025. Like, you've created exponential growth in every area of your life. All right, now I would like everyone to just go ahead and take all that in, and if there's any other area, go ahead and write that down, and then we're going to close our eyes again. And I want you to put your hands on your heart. And I want you to really just sink into the feeling of where are you? You know, what does it look like? Can you feel the salty air on your skin? What feeling do you have right now? Like, are you in like gratitude, love, appreciation, disbelief that this is your life? You know, imagine that you're looking in your loved one's eyes, whether it's a partner, your children, your friends, your parents. Look in their eyes, and what do you feel when you look in their eyes and you realize that you were able to do these things for them? Are you proud of yourself? Do you feel so proud you're just bursting at the seams? Now, I want you to think about your home, wherever that is, or homes. Maybe you have several. But pick the one that you're in right now in this moment in 2025. And just breathe that in. Just take a deep breath and feel how good it feels to be in your home, how calm it is. All the light coming in. The beautiful furnishings or artwork or the scenery, the views that you have. Are you proud that you created that? Now I want you to take another deep breath in, and I want you to think about your career, your passion, whatever that might be, and how many lives you're impacting, and the things that you're doing. If you're speaking on stages, or doing calls like this, and you have coaching clients, or you're teaching people how to get healthy, whatever that might be, just breathe that in. And I want you to really just take in, wow, how does it feel? How does it feel when I look at the people's lives who I've impacted? Maybe you are working in an office somewhere and you love what you're doing. And how does it feel to support the coworkers or the people that are working for you or with you? Now think about your friends and your family and all that you've been able to provide them with. Maybe it was emotional support, maybe it was financial support, maybe it was these vacations again. Are you planning a big trip? Are you planning something super exciting? Like, how does that feel? Are you excited to be able to give them even more and to have them watch your growth and have them be a part of this energetic journey with you? Do you see their lives changing because you were the lighthouse? You became the lighthouse for them. And really just step into how that feels for you. Breathe that in. And now I want you to really imagine just this freedom that you have, this freedom that, you know what? If you want to take a trip, you take the trip. You want to buy your child a car, you buy them a car. You want to help them with the down payment on a house, you did that. You want to help support a friend who's in need, you pay their rent for a couple of months. Okay, now go ahead and take one last deep breath, and we're going to come back. Breathe in deep, and I want you to just breathe in the abundance that is available to you right now. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I just want you to breathe out and just know that there is nothing but peace, love, and abundance for you. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. All right. Go ahead and open your eyes. And go ahead and, if you'd like, to take a minute to write things down, or if anyone would like to share, I would love to have you share your experience with me.
That was so great. Thank you. I saw myself like crystal clear in the mountains, breathing the fresh air and living in the mountains. Thanks.
You're welcome. Abby.
Wow, that I've been envisaging this for a while, but my emotions, my experiences, and things that I want to attract into my life, I do want a second home, and I want it somewhere really warm because I suffer from fibromyalgia and chronic fatigue syndrome, so I have to be very careful with when it gets cold, I get worse.
Mm-hmm.
So condo by the beach,
Mm-hmm.
thinking Florida, feeling calm and at peace, reading a business book out on the veranda, taking lots of walks, chatting to passers-by. However, when I'm back at the condo, no one around but me, enjoying the peace, and the passive income that I'm building at the moment is going to be maintaining the life that I'm going to be living.
I love that. So did you see it maybe more clear than what you've seen it before, and you experienced it more clear?
Yeah, 100%.
Wow. I got cold chills. You know what it means when you get cold chills?
Yeah, goosebumps, we call it.
That means, yeah, exactly. We do too in the US. We call it goosebumps or cold chills. But yeah, that means it's for you. Like everything every one of you just imagined in your mind is for you. That's your dream. The universe brought it to you. The higher power brought that to you because that is yours. And when you can really increase your sense of deserving, that's when it all starts to happen. Guys, I came on a vacation to Costa Rica. And when I got here, I felt all those emotions that you just felt. And I'm telling you, it was like within a few weeks, this house fell in my lap. Like literally, like it was so stupid not to buy it. I couldn't not buy it, right? It wouldn't have even made sense not to buy it. And I'm like you, Abby, I really feel like I met my soul sister. I'm like, yeah, I love being alone. So I'm down here by myself. You know, I have so much peace. Like, I love that, you know, but if you just thought about it, I really want you to think about this is mine. It's mine. You wouldn't have had the dream if you couldn't make it come true. Bob Proctor always said, if you can see it in your mind, you can hold it in your hands. And sometimes it's getting through those blocks. Remember, we talked about paradigms earlier. Getting through those blocks, getting the emotions out of it that were holding us back, those negative thought loops. I'm not good enough, da, da, da. How can I? Fear oftentimes, fear of success oftentimes holds us back. Fear of what's it going to take to start that business? I can tell you there again, I had a fear of doing this coaching, right? And when I stepped into it with no fear, all of a sudden, all the pieces fell into place. All of a sudden, without even trying, I had a team, right? All of a sudden, the right people were coming. They were coming to my coaching programs. They were coming to these calls. It just started to roll. And that's how life works. Oh, Nancy raised her hand. I'm sorry, Nancy, I didn't see it. Yours is kind of up there with some other stuff. So
It's my
pictures
face in the way, so. Well, I wanted to share, oh wow, so much came up for me. I wrote down 17 things, like it just, whoa, but it was like my current life on steroids. But the fear of success, what you just said, that is what stops me. And I've shared that with friends recently. I have been offered to podcast a lot lately. Like it keeps falling in my life. People keep saying, you are such a great speaker and you have such great stories, and people need to hear them of what you've been through, because they will definitely change people's lives. And there is so much fear and anxiety in sharing that. Not that I tell total strangers my life story all the time, and it doesn't. But there's something about putting it into a formal thing than where there's money and all the things, right? So fear of success and actually going down that route. it holds me back. And there's a big like, get out of my own way, get the blocks. So I saw my current life on steroids. I saw my podcast. I saw that as writing my podcast, I write my book gets published, and then it gets turned into a Netflix series. So I literally saw that in my brain, and it just was an explosion of like fireworks. So thank you.
You're welcome. I love that. And, you know, I have a few people that I'm coaching right now who are writing books, and it's exactly what what you're talking about is exactly what's starting to happen. And it starts to happen so quickly, like literally within a few weeks. When you get those blocks out, it can happen that fast. In fact, Stephanie's in my coaching program and she calls it Godspeed. It can happen at Godspeed. And that's what happened to her. And we can always see, we do group coaching, so we can always see when somebody, I call it the invisible line. When you cross the invisible line, nothing can hold you back. But just know there's another invisible line, you know, because there's always another dream after that one. Like the minute we stop dreaming, we start dying. So we never want to stop dreaming. So thank you for sharing that. Anyone else want to share the experience that they had? This is a fun part. I love this part of what I do. You're kind of far away, Nancy. I can't hear you. Look, they're all hippie-fied out over there. I love that.
So one of the shows I love is America's.
A little bit closer. You're still kind of.
I'm right here by the computer.
That's better. Yeah, that's better.
Oh, so I know the computer's here, but we're watching on the TV.
Oh,
so,
okay.
American, what is it? The most amazing vacation rentals. The one in Miami, all the theme for the boat, the houseboats.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
We were on the one in Miami, so you're going to have to come back to Florida for it. Celebrating hitting 7 figures with my closest friends and clients. And that, when I saw that one, and I hate Miami, but that's going to make me go to Miami, and we're all going to be, I pictured us all on that boat. And the disbelief that I'm like, oh my God, this is really my life, and it happened and it manifested, and you will be expected to attend.
Well, I hope to attend for everyone's success parties. So I am here, trust me.
And Abby, if you want, my friend is from the UK and she's an amazing realtor here in Florida. So if you want the connection, she will get you that dream house in Florida.
So will
Amazing.
I just messaged her. I'm like, I'm a realtor in Florida.
Danielle did, yeah. It's amazing how I just thought of Florida and you guys have just said it. So amazing.
Talk about manifesting, right? I think it's meant to happen. So yeah, so what I want everyone to do, we don't have time today to do this. And if it's okay, you know, we could go a little bit over. We've already been close to an hour and a half, but if whoever can stay on can stay on. Oh, Stephanie wanted to share. But 1 second, this evening or after this call, what I would love for all of you to do is write down the things that you saw in a journal form. I am so happy and grateful now that, you know, now that I am living this life. Nancy, I'm on this boat, you know, Abby, I'm in Florida in my condo having, you know, a cup of tea or a cup of coffee on the patio as I'm watching the dolphins go by. You know, I wrote my book, you know, I want you to write that out in vivid detail, because this is going to be the parts of your vision board that you're going to work on. And yeah, go ahead, Stephanie.
Hi. Thank you for taking my hand. You know, when we were doing the meditation, but I opened my eyes at one time and I looked at the time, and it was because I have like 7 boys here spending the night and I could hear them, so it was hard for me to get into it. But I looked at the time and it was 10:10. And Mindy, you are my coach, and so you know that I'm ready to launch myself on 10:10 at 10 a.m. And it was so funny that when I opened my eyes, it was 10:10. And I thought, I'm getting goosebumps thinking like, wow, it's like the universe continues to show me you are on the right path. And it's just like, wow, wow. And like, Nancy was saying, like, we don't know that we have all these things falling on our lap. And sometimes we're afraid to get them. And it's true for me as well. And I realized I heard it's like, the universe keeps giving it to us because we're ready to share to other people. Our stories will help other people. And so we're just, yeah. So that was just my share. I just thought it was just so great to see that. But people, people are waiting for us. People are waiting for us. And that's the way we, expand the universe, So anyways, that was just my little aha that I had that was really amazing. Thank you.
Thank you for sharing that. And just real quick, so Stephanie she used to do makeup for some of the stars in Hollywood. And so she's extremely talented. And she's also lost 130 pounds. And
I shed it off the body.
So she is creating a career where she's going to be a lifestyle coach. Well, she helps women with everything, a makeover coach.
Literally, it's self-image. And during the self-image, it will you naturally, because once we start loving ourselves as we love what we put in our bodies, naturally the weight will just start. If we are having that issue with overweight, then we will start shedding that off our body, because what does my body love? What does my body feel? What does it desire? So the weight will just start to come off because our mindset is changing. So that's how I did it, because doctors were asking me like, did you, have, surgery? I'm like, no, it was my mind. It was my mind. That's the one that plays tricks on us. So we just know that, our first thought, we change it. It could be our second. So yes, thank you. So I launched that 10:10 at 10 a.m.
Yeah, I love number synchronicity.
Yeah,
too.
right. But we don't know what it's going to consist of. That's just the idea. But we just know it's made a decision. Once we make the decision, the universe will make everything else happen. So that's what I did.
You get signs and confirmation.
Absolutely.
You had something you wanted to share real quick, right?
Thank you, Mindy, for
You're welcome. You're welcome. Thank you. Go ahead, Gracie.
I like to share that I'm in Mindy's coaching program, and there I have noticed a big difference in myself. I have been a LinkedIn coach for years, but I always had something behind me, something that was, I guess it was fear of success or lack of complete confidence, lack of feeling worthy or deserving. And so I've been through this, the dream building coaching and studying every day. And I decided to launch my 3-day LinkedIn workshop. And it feels, well, the reason I decided is because all this training, all this reading and studying has been embodied into myself. And now I feel the confidence in worthiness, confidence in I deserve this, confidence in, yes, I can do this, even though I have done it for, a while, but I wasn't feeling worthy. And now I embrace this, and this is the new me. And now I see.
And it was 2 weeks ago, right?
Yeah.
It hasn't been that long.
No.
9 weeks into the program, but 2 weeks ago was when she crossed that invisible line, right?
Right, the invisible.
And the invisible line.
Big difference.
And you see it on people's faces. When they cross that invisible line, it's like all of a sudden their faces are lit up. They smile more, like they're confident. It's working through the blocks.
Right.
We don't know what's holding us back.
Right. And before, I used to write my affirmations, and it was just, I believe, I'm so happy and grateful now that blah, blah, blah. But in my mind, I thought, but it's not here. And now when I write it with confidence, knowing that it's here already, because it's here. I am aware that it's here. All I have to do is just decide and believe.
And the more you step into the future, see, this is it. The more you step into your future self, which is what Stephanie's going to help people do through whether it's makeup and hair and clothing and, losing weight or whatever, just eating healthy or whatever that might be. The more we step into that future person, the more lit up we get, the more we're pulling our dreams toward us. But we can't step into that future person if we don't get the gunk out, right? And I know that was true for me too. So thank you so much for sharing, Gracie. And and that's really the fun part of what I do too, is watching people cross that line. But for time's sake, like I said, journaling later this today or this evening, whatever works for you. Just make sure you're in a nice, calm, quiet place, and maybe some soft music. And I want you to see it so crystal clear. Like, I want you to see it and feel it so clear. You can feel the salt air on your skin or the mountain breeze. Yeah, for Danielle can smell that fresh air. Like, I want you to be there. And then page 15, we're not going to do that one, but I do want you to write down what you've discovered on your own and what surprised you the most. Like for Nancy, it might be that she was in Miami on this yacht, right? Because she doesn't even like Miami. And here she is. So there's a reason why she saw Miami, right? I had Costa Rica on my vision board for a year because I didn't know how to speed the process up at that time. Now I know how to collapse time and get that process going faster and faster. But I found myself literally not even a week in Costa Rica doing yoga on the yoga deck that I had on my vision board. So like, we can collapse that time. That's what quantum leaps are all about. And that's what this work is all about. So on page 16, I want you to go through the top 3 areas, because the thing with the vision board is we've all seen those vision boards that just have crap pasted all over them, right? And you can't tell what's what. There's just words and things everywhere. What you want is a really clean, uncluttered vision board. So Jack Canfield, he talks about this in some of his programs. A cluttered house, a cluttered mind, cluttered vision board attracts more clutter. So we want it clean. And so I want you to pick out 1 to 3 goals that you'd like to accomplish in the next 1, 3, 6 months, maybe even 9 months. And you want those on your vision board front and center, because that's stepping into the new you. That's stepping into the successful you, or the you that doesn't have all the bad thoughts, or the healthy you, or the whatever that is, right? And then on page 17, pick out 1 or 2 long-term goals. Now, I'm 57. Long-term goal, it's hard for me to think 10 years out because a lot of changes take place between 57 and 67. But it's pretty easy for me to think 3 years out, right? What we just did. And it's also pretty easy for me to think, well, it's a little harder to think 5 years out because I haven't crossed the 6-0 yet, but I'm, not that far. So if you're thinking, 1, 2, 3, or 5 years out, you can really get like big, right? And so have 1 or 2 at the most goals for that time frame. And I want you to go with your vibration on this. Like for me, it doesn't feel good to go even 5 years out. I'm a 3-year out kind of goal girl, but some people are okay with it. My goals, I have to move up incrementally. Some people can say I want, $20 million in 3 years. I'm not that girl. Okay, I'm more of okay, let's get to $1 million a year first, right? Then I'll go to 5, right? So, whatever that vibration is for you, and you're gonna know, you're gonna feel it, how it feels. That's what we're going with more than the numbers. How does that feel? Just like whatever you envisioned in your house, in your heads, in your mind. How did that feel? And walk into the vibration of that. And then we're going to send out a link to everyone's email. So Julie, if we don't have your email, please put that in the chat so that we can get your email. And we're going to email a link to this recording, but we're also going to email the vision board, how you can make a digital, it's a walkthrough on how to do a digital vision board on Canva. And if you haven't made a digital vision board, it'll simplify it. So that will go out in the mail and also, okay, yeah. So Sean doesn't have, or Shane doesn't, I'm sorry, Shan doesn't. I apologize, I just butchered your name somehow twice in a row. So she doesn't have the workbook, right? So we can make sure you get a workbook as well. But then I want you to, after you pick out your pictures, to start creating your affirmations. And I don't know why I have it on the next page, but empowering words. That should have probably been before you start writing down your daily affirmations for your different goals. And like I said, you only want like 3 goals on your vision board and then maybe 1 or 2 long-term. And what would those affirmations look like? For me, I am so happy and grateful. I can start my sentence like that, but I'm not going to say it for every affirmation. It got a little stale over the years, right? But I can say, oh, I am so excited now that I took my daughters on that African safari I've always wanted to take them on. I'm so grateful that I got to do this. Whenever you say it, you want it to have emotion. And I'm so happy and grateful for doesn't give me that. So, go ahead, Abby. You have a question or a share? You're on mute.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
When I split from my husband last year, the only thing that helped me was affirmations. And I've written over 400 affirmations since then. And I did a lot of mirror work, and that was really hard in the beginning. But it was because when I was saying the words, I didn't believe them. And it takes a long time to keep saying it and saying it and saying it until one day you actually do believe the words and actually feel it inside. So for those who've never done affirmations, I'm sure there's been quite a few here that have. It does take time, so be patient with yourself when you do these affirmations. And if you do them consistently, they do end up working.
Thank you so much for sharing that and for sharing the idea of vision work too. So, with the vision board, what you want to do is first thing in the morning and before you go to bed at night, look at those pictures and say those affirmations. And like you said, you're not going to necessarily believe it, but you might also have some affirmations around deserving and self-love, that you're going to go to the mirror and look in your own eyes. And it is hard. It is hard to look in your own eyes and say, I am deserving. I am deserving of everything on this board, right? I love myself. I love myself to not waste this life that I have. I love the people in my life so much. I want to give them 199% of who I am. Go ahead, Nancy. Nancy raised her hand too.
I wanted to show you guys, this is something I did when I came out of the hospital. I made my own affirmation cards. So I would pick one every single day. So I did very similar to, what Abby did, but I have I'm a scrapbooker. So I just kind of grabbed my scrapbook supplies and went to town, but I made my own affirmation cards. So it made me happy. And then I made a set for my best friend in Texas and sent it to her. And she said, "This is the greatest gift I've ever received. Can you please make me more?" And I said, "Well, the goal was to have you, to give you a set to start with, and then you can add to them." So it's really great because, there are lots of affirmation decks out there, and I do have a lot of those, and I have an affirmation calendar of the day. But having your own and then doing mirror work with them, to look in the mirror every single morning. My whole family knows that I do this. I'll pull a card, look in the mirror, and I'll tell myself, this one says, "I am happy and healthy." I tell myself that 3 times with a smile on my face. And if I don't believe it, Abby, I will continue to say it until a smile comes across my face and I believe it. So if I have to stand there for 15 minutes until I believe that I am happy and healthy, I will do that. So I wanted to share that with you guys.
I love that. And thank you so much for sharing that. I love the idea of the cards. And you can get a little, what do they call it when you put the paper in and put the plastic on it? Yeah, I'm at a loss for
Yeah.
words. That thing. Yeah.
Yeah, the
Laminated.
lamination.
Laminator. Yes. Thank you.
Yeah.
You can get one at Walmart for like $19 or Amazon, so they really don't cost anything. And yeah, that's a fun idea. And maybe even put the pictures on the bottom.
Ooh, I love
You know,
that.
Yeah,
I wanna do that.
you can Google the pictures. So yeah, I mean, have fun with these vision boards. And
I did a second deck that has mermaids on the back. And then so I made like a little second one that's small because mermaids are my things. But then this one says like my favorite things, smile at everyone.
we could make these for our kids. Yeah, that's such a great idea. You could make these for your kids. You could make these for your family members. I mean, I see something fun here, right?
Absolutely. We need to do that. That's going to be the next craft day.
Yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. Again, for time's sake, I'm just going to kind of go through the vision board thing, though. I want you all to do your vision boards. I do have a group. It's called Mindset of the Inspired Woman on Facebook. So feel free to join it. We can put that in the email as well that's going out to everyone. And it would really be fun if everyone shares their vision board. And Al, we do have men in that one as well. So I know I named it before, and I just never changed the name because it's a cool name. But but yeah, I would love if everyone would share your vision boards on there. And then write your affirmations down. And real quick, I also do these calls. I'll personalize the Dream Builder call for you. It's about a 45-minute to 1 hour call. We're going to send a link in the email, but I think it's also going to be in the chat here in just a second. And it's a totally free call. I spend an hour with you and we really dig into your dreams. I record it and then I send it to you. So yeah, if you'd like to schedule a call, the calendar's coming out. And yeah, that's really it for today. Does anyone want to share before we jump off? This was great. I love how much everyone participated. And I want to thank you all for doing that.
Can I share real quick? You said that you will record it, and I think when I first, you first introduced me to doing the call, when I did the call, you told me, what to do and how to step into it. And then at the end, I didn't even know you were recording it until you told me at the end. I recorded and I was like, what? And then I heard it and I thought, oh my God, everything I was saying, this is mine. This is my dream. This is my future. So amazing. And I'm seeing some of those things happening. And I didn't say I was going to go to Hawaii, but it wasn't that. Yeah, I didn't even know, I mentioned it, but it was what was going to happen. It's oh my God, I go to Hawaii on the 27th. Of September. It's I wasn't even sure if it was really going to happen, but I spoke it. It was the dream that you said, and it's it's my dream. It's my future. So it's happening. This is so amazing. But yeah. So I just wanted to share that. That was really kind of cool.
Thank you so much for sharing that. And everyone who just said thank you on the chat, you're very, very welcome. And if you have just a couple more minutes, I'd like to speak a little prayer/mantra over everyone. And this is such a lovely prayer/mantra, whatever you want to call it. I would love to speak it over everyone, and we will also put that in the email that's coming out. So let's go ahead and close our eyes. And may you truly be happy. May you live in peace. May you live in love. May you know the power of forgiveness. May you live in recognition that your life has deep purpose and good meaning. And with that, namaste. The light in me sees a light and love in all of you. So thank you so much for joining. Bye, everyone. And you will get an email. Bye.